Most people live and die without ever touching the true power buried in their own minds. They stay on the surface. But there's a rare breed of person, maybe you're one of them, who operates on a totally different frequency. We're talking about a specific kind of spiritual architecture, a force tied to the deepest parts of the human psyche. If you have this and don't know it, it feels like a curse. It feels like anxiety, or being too sensitive, or feeling like an alien. But if you flip the switch, it's the ultimate leverage. Are you just different, or are you carrying a spiritual weight that most people couldn't even lift? Let's look at the 7 invisible signs that prove you're dealing with something way beyond the ordinary. Sign number 1, the gaze that wrecks, masks. You know that persona people put on? The I'm successful face or the I'm perfectly happy smile? When you look at someone, you don't see the mask. You see the crack in the foundation. You see the childhood wound they're trying to hide with a designer watch. It's like having X-ray vision for the soul. Most people think this makes you a great people person. Wrong! It actually makes people incredibly uncomfortable. You'll find that folks either get weirdly obsessed with you or they flat out avoid you. Why? Because your mere presence acts like a mirror. You aren't judging them, but your eyes are asking questions their ego isn't ready to answer. If you've spent your life wondering why people get defensive around you, even when you're being nice, that's why. You're seeing the truth, and the truth is the one thing most people are running from. Sign number 2, intuition that feels like a spoiler alert. This isn't about vibes. This is about your brain subconsciously tracking patterns in the collective unconscious. You see a friend start a new relationship, and you know within 5 minutes exactly how it ends. You see a shift in the world, and you feel the tension weeks before it breaks. It's like you're reading the code of the world, while everyone else is just looking at the pictures. Sign number 3, the alchemy of pain. Here's where it gets heavy. While most people spend their lives sprinting away from suffering, you do something weird. You descend into it. When you get hurt, you don't just get over it. You go into the basement of that pain. You find the root and you transform it into wisdom. This is the wounded healer archetype. You realize your scars aren't just memories, they're your credentials. But wait! Don't think this is just about being deep. There's a catch. If you can do this for yourself, you start doing it for the world. And that leads us to the 4th sign, which is where things get truly otherworldly. Sign number 4, you're a mediator for the invisible. Do you have a weirdly intense relationship with symbols? Maybe you see recurring numbers, or your dreams feel more like missions than random brain dumps. You're sensitive to the collective unconscious, that massive reservoir of human experience we all share but rarely access. You pick up on shifts in the weather of the human spirit. When the world is grieving, you feel it in your bones before you even check the news. Sign number 5, the power of the silence. Check this out. Most people use talk to fill space because they're terrified of what's in the quiet. You use silence as a tool. When you're quiet, it's not an absence of sound, it's a presence of weight. Have you noticed that when you stop talking, other people start confessing? They start blabbing their deepest secrets or realizing their own mistakes just because you provided a silent, non-judgmental space. Your silence is a vacuum that pulls the truth out of everyone around you. Sign number 6, you aren't afraid of your own monster. This is the big one. Most people spend 90% of their energy pretending they don't have a shadow, those repressed, dark, messy parts of the ego. But you've met your monster. You've sat down with your anger, your greed, and your weirdness, and you've integrated them. You think facing your shadow makes you a dark person. Actually, it makes you the most authentic person in the room. Because you aren't pretending to be a saint, you have a level of gravity that nice people simply don't have. You don't scare easily because you know exactly what's hiding in the dark. You've already been there. Sign number 7, you are a walking catalyst. This is the final proof. You don't even have to do anything. Just by being who you are, you trigger transformations in others. People quit their dead-end jobs after a coffee with you. They finally go to therapy. They wake up. You're like a chemical reagent. You enter a stable environment, and suddenly everything starts reacting. So, you've got the signs, you see the masks, you track the patterns, you've integrated the shadow, and you're a walking catalyst for change. Now what? Is this just a cool party trick, or is the universe actually demanding something from you? The truth is, these aren't gifts in the way we usually think. They're responsibilities. The world is getting noisier, faker, and more disconnected. It needs people who can bridge the gap between the visible world and the deep, spiritual truths of the unconscious. If you recognize yourself in these 7 signs, stop trying to fit in. Stop trying to dim your light so you don't make the normals uncomfortable. You aren't here to play the game. You're here to help rewrite the rules. The question isn't whether you have the power. The question is, now that you know you have it, what are you going to do with it? Stay awake. The world needs your eyes.